Hi, good morning, everyone. So I am audible and everybody can view my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. So yeah, my name is Vijay. Okay, so I am working with SAP from past 15 years. So majorly into HCM, time and payroll. Okay, and employee central as well. Okay, so the scope of the training program. Okay, so before you people, you know, want to go with this program, you should be aware of the basic configuration of time management and payroll. Okay, so here we are not explaining the basic configuration of time management, like creating work schedules, holiday calendars and all this stuff. Okay, so before we start with time evaluation, okay, you should be aware of all the basic configuration. I will start from the schema part. Okay, so I will explain you the basic configuration of how we will activate time evaluation for the employees. Okay, both positive and negative. So we'll start with negative time management. Okay, with few concepts like generation of time quotas, different topics which was listed over here, and again with positive time management like overtime. Okay, and then to payroll. Okay, so payroll also, so I will explain again straight from the schema part. Okay, you should be aware of the basic configuration of payroll, like creating of wage types and all this stuff. So I'll explain the schema, and within the schema, I will explain, the real-time topics which we will, work on payroll. Okay, so that is the requirement. Means if you are aware of those things, you can understand what I am going to explain in my training program. Okay, if you see, as I said, we'll start from time evaluation. So initially, we'll work on schema TM04 for negative time management. So I will explain what is the difference, exact difference between positive time and negative time. Okay, so in negative time management, we will work on absence quotas. We have different scenarios in absence quota. Okay, so for example, if you have any unpaid absences, the quota should be prorated and should be generated. Okay, so quota should not generate at the time of prohibition. Okay, quota for different level of employees. For example, you know one group of employees are eligible for 30 leaves per annum, so other people are say 25 leaves per annum. Likewise, how we can bifurcate the configuration, means especially the PCR and schema in the time evaluation. Okay, similarly we have leave carry forward with different examples. So all the real-time examples which I implemented in different projects, I will explain all this stuff. Similarly, comp off, how we will generate comp off, and quota generation for separated employees or uh, mid-year joinees, how the quota should prorate. Okay, all the logics I will explain. So that is all mainly about negative time management. So when coming to positive time, we will work on schema TM00. Okay, where we will capture overtime. We have different types of overtime in different companies. Okay, so many times uh, companies may generate overtime basing on the planned hours. Say for example, I have total 9 hours of planned time. If I worked say 12 hours, okay, so the 3 hours will be overtime. In some organizations, they will generate overtime basing on the scheduled time. Say for example, 9 to 18 is my planned time. If I worked after 18, whatever the hours, okay, they will generate it as overtime. If employee was, late, they will generate it as late coming as a deduction. Okay, so the other, in some companies, they will, generate the overtime weekly based. It's not daily based. So they will have a fixed weekly hours, say 40 hours. If employee worked more than 40 hours, those hours will be overtime at the end of the week. Okay, similarly, we have something called recalculation of overtime. Okay, that I will explain in the real time. And again, within the overtime, we have different scenarios. Okay, in some of the clients, we implemented like, if employee works 2 hours, they will pay 100%. If employee works 4 hours, first 2 hours will be paid 100%. The next 2 hours will be paid with 150%, whatever employee is eligible. Okay, so especially if employee works more than 4 hours, okay, the additional hours after 4 will be paid with 200%. So how we can do all this stuff in the positive time management, we will discuss. As I said, weekly payroll, okay, weekly overtime. And again, if employee works on holidays or weekends, we may have to pay with a different rate. Similarly, within the time, we can generate time bonus wastage. Say, for example, if employee is not taking any leave for, say a month or 2 months, okay, client wants to pay attendance bonus for the employee. Okay, so how we can generate that? Similarly, we have a concept called unauthorized absence. On a working day, if employee is not having any attendance or absence, they want to generate a unauthorized absence and want to reduce the salary as good as unpaid absence for the employee. Okay. Similarly, see if the quota is generating, say for example, on the start of the year or start of the month, employee has utilized all the leaves and was separated. Okay. So the additional leaves which was utilized by the employee, we have to recover in the time evaluation. How we can do that? As I said, late coming and early going, who can capture? And we have something called, we have industrial workers, right? So for industrial workers, generally they will pay the salary for how many hours they work. Only that many hours we will pay. So for that also, we will capture how many hours actually work employee within the planned time, and we will send it to payroll. Okay, so these are all the topics in the time management, and I will explain how all these waste types, will be integrated to payroll, the standard logic. Right, this is all about time management. Any questions on the time management concepts? Yes,
Vijay, just I have asked. Here we will cover only time management integration with payroll, or we are going to integrate with other module also, like MM and that employee self-service. And that one more thing is that how to that configuration of time administration transaction.
See, here we are only working with time and payroll. That is the first thing. Okay, if you are talking about ESS or Fury, okay, those are not the integration part. Okay, so there will be no integration when you are talking about ESS or Fury. Okay, so those are the add-ons on the system. Okay, by default it will take whatever the database it is there in the system. Okay, so those are all out of scope in my program. Okay,
No, and CATSA also.
Pardon?
CATSA, that integration.
No, tax integration. That is all standard. Okay. That's also.
Vijay,
Yes,
Hello.
please.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
So I wanted to ask one thing that will it be cover the sandwich rule in time management?
Can you repeat, please?
Sandwich rule means what if the employee absent before weekly off and after weekly off. On that day, some of the employers don't pay the weekly off. That will be considered as an absent, paid absence or paid absence. That will be covered or not?
Yes, that will be covered in the part of payroll. Okay, in the
It will be covered time management. Na?
there is a good piece of disturbance. Yes, Sagar, I will answer you. See, I have a options. Okay, where I have options from say Friday to Monday. For example, Saturday and Sunday is off. Okay, so I want to consider both, means 4 days or 2 days. That is part of factoring. Okay, so what you are asking, if I am not wrong, is say for example, if employee was having a single absence on Thursday, okay, means on Friday, absence, and can you mute one second? There is a lot of disturbance from your mobile. So in time
Pardon?
evaluation, there is a lot of disturbance from your side. See, for example, I have, a absence, single absence on Friday. Okay, Saturday and Sunday is off. Okay, and Monday I have a absence. Okay, for example. Okay, single record. Then, if you want to consider 4 days, it should be from time evaluation. On Friday, we will have a check the absence is not is there or not. Okay, so then we'll check again Monday the same absence is there or not. Okay, at this time also we can consider a total 4 days from time evaluation. Okay, so I will add the topic in our program and I will explain this. Okay, the other part in the payroll, say for example, I have a stretch of absence from Friday to Monday. Okay, sometimes for some absences, client want to consider 4. For some absences, client want to take only 2, excluding weekly off. Okay, for salary, part. Okay, that also we will discuss in the payroll in the factory.
Vijay, I actually my mention was that time recording, okay, and that cross application time sheet. This both topic we are covering in this session, upcoming session.
CATS is a third-party tool we are not covering. Okay, what CATS will do, based on the configuration of the CATS, okay, employee fill the time sheets and it will update in 2002. Okay, so here
Okay.
we will update the time entries in 2002 or 2011, clock in, clock out. Okay, so that is the biometric integration generally or planned data collection.
Correct.
Right. Similarly, we will maintain 2001 and from there we will start. Okay, how the 2001 or 2011 will update, that depends on the integrations from different tools. It can be cross application timesheets or it can be Chronos. Okay,
Yes.
or it can be from Employee Central.
Yeah, that is my concept.
Yeah,
Expecting
from Employee Central, there is we have timesheets to update. Info type 2010 with different hours. Okay, we have all this stuff from different integration things. Okay, so here integrations are out of scope. Okay, so especially we are targeting here majorly on schema and PCRs. Okay, rest of the things are standard given by SAP which are configurable. Okay, we have different documents, especially CATS, we have different documents. Okay, we have to follow that. This is also a small module, okay, which is a add-on to the SAP. So these things are out of scope. Okay, here what I will do, 2011, I will maintain multiple clock in, clock outs manually, and then I will run time evaluation to capture overtime or to capture late coming, okay, or to generate bonus or any other things.
And then suppose I want to learn these cards and that time recording from HR master data or from other application like also there no time recording. So how I can learn it? How you can help us? I mean you can help me.
No, this is not the place for those topics. I think you have to look for a different training program for that. Okay, those are integrations. We are not considering those things. Okay, the configuration we will do. If you want to enhance any of the things, we have some user existence bodies which you have to check with the technical team and you have to integrate.
Okay.
So my training program is after integrating from different things. From there, I am going to start.
Yeah, after integrating the all process is starting.
Yes. So any other questions from anyone? Okay.
Hello, this is Sam. Sorry, I just joined, so I'm not sure whether what will be covered during this course. Is it like a PCR and the schemas or what?
Yes, it's majorly on PCRs and schemas only.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll cover TM04 and TM00 schema for negative time and positive time. So I will explain technically what is the difference between positive and negative time.
Yeah.
Okay. And we'll cover all the real-time topics which are all implemented for different things, negative time as well as this is the topics.
Yeah.
Okay, which Chaitanya will share these topics to you. Right? Yes. Can I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay. So payroll. Okay. So majorly payroll we have broadly four major topics in the payroll. Okay. So first thing is the time and payroll integration and time data valuation. Say for example, from uh, time management, I got some hours of overtime. I have to validate those hours, okay, basing on the hourly rate of the employee. Okay, in the payroll system, I will explain how per hour rate will be calculated basing on the employee's salary and how we will validate different time wasted. Say example, I said here, first 2 hours should be paid with 100%. Okay, next 2 hours should be paid with 150%. Okay, so more than 4 hours if employee work, those hours should be paid with 200%. All these things, how we will validate. Okay, that we will call it as time data valuation. Okay, so in payroll we have a sub schema for time data valuation. Okay, I will explain all these concepts in the payroll. That is the major first topic. The other one is factoring, which is very much important. Okay, how the salary will get reduced. Okay, so why we will call this as factoring? Because we will capture a factor basing on the unpaid absences or inactive days of the employee, and will evaluate the allowances for the employee. So we have bunch of topics, real-time topics in factoring. Okay, say for example, I have a particular leave type. Say for example, educational leave. Okay, when employee goes on educational leave, only basic should be paid. The other allowances should not be paid. Okay, so similarly, there is any other leave type, basic should not get paid. The other allowances should get paid. Okay, it is not similar for all the waste type. So all these things, how we'll work on factoring. Okay, we'll discuss in the factoring. That is the second major topic. The third one is the retroactive accounting. Again, a very much key part. We have different scenarios of retroactive accounting. Okay, so how the standard retro will work, how the /551 and 552 waste types by standard the retro was designed in the system. Then we will write our custom PCRs to, you know, capture the retro values with different scenarios. Okay. Similarly, I will explain how we'll create a processing class, you know, and basing on that, how the rules will work basing on a processing class. In our processing classes, we will work on different scenarios. Say, for example, if you are talking about factoring, I will explain the processing class 10 and a PCR. There is a PCR called X12, how it will work when you change the processing class specification. Similarly, for hourly rate, we have processing class 01, time data valuation basis. I will explain processing class 1. Similarly, we will work on different processing classes. Apart from that, we will create our own processing class with specification. Okay, so with some tax related scenarios, I will explain, which is the fourth topic in the schema. So again, coming to the tax and you know, country specific, I'm not going to explain any particular country taxation over here. Okay, why? Because different countries will have different tax rules and tax configuration. Okay, so we'll work on payroll international. Okay, so I will create some PCRs for example tax calculations. Okay, and I will explain how a function will work. Okay, say for example, if you're talking about you know, some Australia payroll, we have something called some functions like QTAX. Okay, so if you are talking about India payroll, we have INTAX, or if you're talking about US taxation, we have USTAX. Okay, for every local country specific payrolls, SAP has given some standard functions which will do all the tax calculations. And even for any other country specific taxations, like you know, for India, we have something called HRA, right? House rent allowance. We have some exemptions and all these things for house rent. For that also, we have INHRA. Okay, so likewise, the standard functions are there. Here in the international, I will explain you how we can create a custom function altogether, how we can read, you know, a custom table having tax labs, and how we can generate a tax. And I will explain how we can debug, okay, the function to understand what was happening when the ABAP code is getting generated, so that we can take help of ABAPer again, and if not the basic things which we can debug the things. Okay, so payroll, we have majorly four main topics, but each topic will have, you know, multiple scenarios. Even the list is small compared to you know, time management. We have different scenarios in the all these four topics. Okay, so apart from that, you know, I will explain you know, HR forms. Okay, so I will show you from scratch how we can create a payslip for the client. Okay, that is a PDF payslip without any other help. Okay, so HR forms is designed in such a way, so there will be very minimal requirement to design a payslip. Means requirement of ABAP over here. So that I will explain completely, and I will explain something about you know, payroll control center, how we can process payroll control center from employee central or from Fury or HR renewal. Okay, and I will explain the point-to-point integration. We will call it as P2P. Okay, in the employee center means the configuration. So here EC P2P, I will explain what all the things we will do in the SAP system. Okay, how the integration will happen, what is the difference between hybrid model and all this stuff. Okay, these are the key topics which I am going to cover in payroll. Right, guys, any questions?
Hi Vijay, this is Harish.
Yes, Harish.
Yeah, in point to point also you have given the configuration document or telling the integration or only just given the explanation. I mean,
It's a overview. I can't show you a live integration.
okay.
So I will show the configuration nodes and its importance, but I can't show you the EC system. Okay, I will just give a overview of all this stuff.
Okay.
So
Vijay,
I will show on the payroll control center. I will show the process. Like this. Say I will show majorly on the Fury system. Okay, so this is the Fury application. So I will just explain how the process will work. I will show you one process and I will show you from where the process came in the backend. Okay, I will create a process from the backend. I will execute the process in the front end. Process is nothing but it can be a payroll
Yeah,
simulation.
run the payroll, run a simulation run like that, and
Like
execute
that,
that in the
we will have different process. So all these, if you see the screen, the same screen will be there in Employee Central also. Okay, so
Yes,
from
yes,
Employee
yes. I know, I
Central,
know.
when you talk about payroll, it is same. So if you are working on this, means you are working on EC itself.
No, no, just I know a little bit. My seniors are working on that, so that's why I'm asking.
Yeah. I will explain one process or here, and I will tell you how we'll do all this stuff so that we can easily do different things like posting and all this. Okay.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you.
Vijay, that from ECC that payroll to finance integration.
That is also a configuration, right? You just know to create symbolic accounts, attach it to GLs, means attach to wage type and attach to GL, and we have a PPM OD. That is what I am telling. I'm not explaining the configuration part. Okay, and moreover, when we work on a IDS system, when we want to show the posting, we should have the company code configuration, chart of accounts, okay, and GLs and all this stuff. Okay, even cost center is mandatory for posting. So all these things I can't show you. That is the basic configuration which we should know. Right, yes. So I will just, as a demo, I will explain a simple PCR, especially in the payroll today as a demo session. Taking a simple example, okay. Say, for example, I am deleting this 9120. Okay, so so let us say I have a requirement. I want to take some percentage of this amount. Okay, and I have to create a deduction wage type for this. Say, for example, if you see examples like social incidents, okay, it may be 7% or 10% on the basic. Okay, so generally for many countries there are standard PCRs already there in place, but if we have a requirement to, say for example, I have to create a donation wage type, okay, for an employee, okay, which should be 10% on basic for a particular say for example employee subgroup. For another employee subgroup it should be 12%. Okay, so I want to take basic into 12% as a contribution or a deduction wage type in the payroll. Okay, so how we can do that? First of all, I can identify is this the employees belongs to group ZA, or ZB kind of thing, then I have to take 10% or 15% of basic, and I have to create a deduction. Okay, so we'll take this as example and we'll start writing a PCR. So I think all you understand the topic which I am going to explain, right?
Yes.
Okay. So let me create a PCR. Okay, so we'll create PCR P02 starting with Z. Okay, so I'm just creating a 4-digit PCR Z1. Okay, I'm giving a text. So these are the attributes of the PCR. Okay, so when you are creating a PCR, the very first thing is the program class. Okay, if you are writing a payroll PCR, you have to define it as C. If you are writing a time PCR, you have to give it as T. Why? Because the operations, okay, the operands which we are using in the PCRs are completely different for payroll and time. Okay, so that is the reason many times we will see the consultants who are working on payroll may not work on time, and the consultants who are working on time may not work in payroll. But here I will explain both. Yes, Harish, any questions?
No.
So now I am creating a payroll PCR. Okay, so when you give a payroll PCR, you have to define for which country you are writing this PCR for, because payroll PCR are country specific. Okay, say for example, if I am writing a time PCR, I should not define any country over here. You can see a message. It should be star. Means time PCR should not be for a particular country. So if you want within the PCR, you can put some condition. If this is the country grouping, we can write a different logic for different country groupings. We can write different logics. But in the attributes of the PCR, if it is time, it should be star. Okay, if it is payroll, then you can define the country. Okay, so person responsible for here. So if I click on this, if I check this, okay, so if I want to modify this PCR, I have to log with this user itself. No other users can modify this particular PCR. So generally we don't do this in the real time. Many users will work with on this PCR at the time of support. Okay, so I'm just saving this. Okay, so once we save, we'll go to change. So there are we'll work on the tree structure. So this one looks like this. So when you select this, you have all these tools available, right? Create, change, cut, copy, paste, and all this stuff. So when you say create, so it will give you a single digit node, which is the PCR group. Okay, if you remember in the configuration, we'll give the PCR and CAP grouping, right? So CAP grouping is to define the salary structure of the employee. Okay, so CAP grouping, pay scale type, pay scale group, pay scale level, right? So these are the 5 elements which will define the salary structure of the employee. Okay, but the PCR group is here. There are many standard PCRs. We have PCR group, one for given for industrial workers. Okay, so 2 is for periodic wage earners, 3 is for salaried employees, and 4 is for German specific. Okay, I will just show you quickly. So every PCR we can write for different group of employees. If you go to the configuration, Where is this? Yeah. Okay, so if you see the basic pay, the very first step here is define employee subgroup grouping for PCR and CAP. Okay, so here these are two columns in the same table, but there is no link between PCR group and CAP group. Okay, CAP group, as I said, this is one of the pay scale element to structure the payroll. Okay, CAP grouping, pay scale type, pay scale area, pay scale group, and level. Okay, basing on that, we will define different allowances, how much amount which has to be defaulted in info type 8. Okay, so if you click on F1 in the PCR group, okay, you can see this is the use. Okay, we should not use our own numbers altogether. Okay, so we for industrial workers we have to use 1. Okay, for periodic wage it is 2. Generally, many times in many of the companies they will use only 3 for salaried employees. Okay, so there are many rules, standard rules are already designed because the standard schema in the payroll was written like this, payroll and time as well. Okay, 1, 2, 3 basing on the groups of the list. Okay, so this is what the first node is for. Okay, so it is not mandatory that you have to define the rules, means groups. If you are writing a rule, irrespective of the group, means this rule should go for all the employees in the organization. You can just give a star or here, and then you can say create. So when you say create, you have same level, sub level. Okay, so if you click on sub level now, you will get a 4-digit code over here. Okay, 4-digit space. Okay, this 4-digit space is the wage type in the payroll PCRs and time type for the time PCRs. Okay, in time management, when you are working with time evaluation, we have something called time types to store number in that, similar to wage type. Okay, but the wage type will store number, rate, and amount. Okay, but the time type will store only number. Okay, so here say for example, if I want to give a wage type, I want to write a logic on a wage type, you can write. Sometimes we can see many of the PCRs, they are written like this with 4 stars, not even specific to a wage type. Okay, so we have different types of PCRs which we are going to work. Okay, different models of PCRs for different requirements. Okay, that I will explain. Okay, so now the second node is for wage type. So what we require, the requirement here is on basic, we want to take some 10% and we have to generate a deduction. That is what the requirement. So I have defined my basic or here wage type, and I will say create and a sublet. Okay, so when the PCR is executing in the payroll, okay, so at this point of time, this wage type will consist of the amount which is coming from info type 8. Okay, so our intention is not to disturb the basic. Okay, we have to take 10% of the basic. So first line, we have a operation, we will call these as operations. Okay, we have something called add wage type, then a space, and then stop. So what will happen, whatever the value stored in the basic wage type will be going back without disturbing anything. If you are using ADDWT, then a space and a star. Okay, so then still in the PCR, the same amount will be available what is there in the basic, say 1500 if I am not wrong, right? So this value will come into the IT table. I will show that in the payroll log. Okay, so now I want to take 10%. Okay, initially I will just write a straight logic. Okay, Say for example, I want to take 100%, sorry, 10% of basic as a deduction. I have a operation called amount. Okay, so we have different, now if I'm using AMT as operation, I have different operators available like percentage, I have plus, minus, division. Okay, there are many operators, I will show you now. Okay, and I can give whatever the percentage like this, which is a hot code thing. Okay, so I will tell you, we should not generally hot code the numbers over here, because going forward, this may increase to 12% based on the company's policy. So we should not generally hot code, we have to call it from a constant. Okay, let us see the documentation, how I'm getting different constants from. Okay, if I go to F1, selecting AMT, so AMT is the operation. Okay, so we have a syntax over here. So this is AMT followed by S and followed by this one always. Okay, so you can see this is S and this is V. Okay, so we'll call this S as operator, and the rest 6-digit is the operand. Okay, so if you see the available operators, you have to click on this. You can see, as I said, we have plus, minus, multiplication, division. Okay, different things. Okay, which we are going to work almost on all the operators. Okay, so here what I want a percentage of the existing amount. So that is the reason I have taken the percentage. So coming to operators, okay, generally we should not hard code the 10% in the PCR. Okay, even it is allowing to us. Okay, so we should not do that. So how we can do that? If you see the next 6-digit operand, okay, we can call the same 10, means the same number, from different tables. Okay, storing in different constant tables. Okay, so that is there. If you want to call something from the tables, you have second variant. I will explain all this stuff. Okay, and I think in the demo it will be more you know lengthy part to understand. Okay, so if you click on second variable, okay, SAP has given with, okay, two tables, okay, which is called Phi11P and Phi11K. Okay, so Phi11P you use to get some amounts which are stored in this particular table. Okay, so if you use I followed by the constant, okay, so you can see both. Okay, you can see if you use amount percentage I followed by the 5-digit constant which is there in this table. Okay, now we want the number, right? 10 is a number, so if you want to get some number, we have to store it in Phi11K. Okay, so let's quickly see. Okay, if you see Phi11K, okay, so we have different constants with a value, which is a number. It can be percentage, it can be days, or it can be anything, but a number. Okay, so here it is a numeric thing. Okay, and if you see Phi11P, so it's the amount field. You can see here the decimals. Okay, and with the currency. Okay, so these are the two constant tables. Instead of hard coding anything in the PCR, okay, both in time and payroll, we can call these tables. Okay, say for example, I will maintain a new entry Z0004, for example. Okay, so I will give a start date and end date, and I will give 10 over here. Okay, so what is the advantage of this is, say for example, from 2022, they want to deduct 12%. So instead of modifying the PCR again and again, okay, we can just delimit this from that particular date, and we can maintain for, so that the PCR will read accordingly. Okay, so we have to, the 10 we have to get it from the constant. Okay, so Z04 is the constant. So if you go to the documentation, now what I will do, I will use K followed by Z0001, sorry, 04. So which is pull the value from 511K. Okay, so let us see this. So I will use K, telling that I have to get some constant from 511K table followed by Z01. Right. So what will happen now in the amount field over here, the 10% of the basic will be stored. So that I want to make it as a deduction to a waste type. Okay. So I have here we have used ADDWT. If I use ADDWT, then a space followed by a waste type. Okay. I think it's 9210, for example. So it will add to this waste type, the 10% of the value. But I want to create a deduction. So similarly, instead of ADD, I will use SUB, means subtract the value, means it will store, because the customer deductions should be in the minus symbol. So I am using subtraction. Say for example, if you want to generate any payment, you can use ADDWT. Okay, so all these things, how I'm getting all this stuff, I will explain in the documentation. Okay, let me check with the waste type first. Okay, say for example, I want to create a donation 9120. Okay, so first let us try this. Writing the PCR is one part, but where to insert in the schema is the key one, because so to understand that, okay, initially we should we should know the general flow of the yeah, sorry guys, am I audible?
Yeah, now we
Yes,
are.
it is.
Yes, yes, yes.
There is some power fluctuation. Okay, so initially we should not, the thumb rule is we should not modify the standard schemas. Okay, for every country we have a schema provided by SAP. If the country is international, for example, localization is not there, we can copy X000 to our customer schema. Say for example, I just copy it to 9000. Okay, so I will explain the flow of the schema in the later part. Okay, so generally we have some initialization, basic data. So as I said, few things, right? The PCR group. Okay, there is a function WBP, okay, which will read the basic pay and different info types, which may form splits and all this stuff. Okay, so if the PCR group in the configuration for a particular employee group is 1, whatever the value we are maintaining in info type 8, that will store in the place of rate, not in the place of amount, because those are industrial workers. Okay, so how many hours they work, that many hours system has to pay. So whatever we maintain in info type 8, that will become as a rate by standard in the payroll system. If you are maintaining 3, the value which you are maintaining in basic pay will be stored in amount place, okay, as a salaried employees. So we will discuss all this stuff, the flow of the schema. Okay, so generally the salary will be get reduced, okay, in the time of factoring. Okay, so I want to know, for example, if I want to take 10% on his actual salary from info type 8 or actual salary what employee is receiving. For example, if employee is having unpaid absences, the 1500 may become 1000. Okay, so now I have to ask a question to the client that I want to take 1000 or 1500. Okay, if they said it's on, uh, you know 1000 means after reducing the salary. Okay, so we have a schema XVAL P 2010 which will reduce the salary for the employee. So I have to place my PCR after this, if not before this. Okay, again this is also a standard one, so I should not disturb this. So I have to copy this as well to my customer namespace. Okay, so I will go back to the copied main schema. So I will search for the factoring schema. So here, if I want to insert a line, I have I, which will create a new line for here. Okay, if you want to delete a line, uh, yes, guys, any questions? I think I'm getting some disturbance. Someone?
Vijay, I have one question. Like that allowance, that we in the same month allowance has been revised. Like basic from 1 to 15, 1000, and 15 to 31st is 1500. So system will take automatically both allowance 1000 and 1500, or how it will be work?
That is what the factoring is. When I talk about WBP function, that will create split, okay, for that period. Okay, say from 1 to 15 it is 1000, from 16th to end of the month it is 1500. We'll have split 1 with 1000, split 2 with 1500. Okay, so then the factoring will take care of the proration of 1000 and 1500. So how much employee has to get. Okay, that is what the concept, in-depth concept in factoring, which we will discuss. Okay.
Vijay, we are unable to hear your voice. Hello.
Yeah, Vijay.
Hi, Chaitanya. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, Vijay.
Okay. So if I want to insert a line, I can, put a I over here. If I want to delete, it's a D. Okay. So if I want to copy the same line, I can use R. Okay. So all these three are more than enough. Okay. So I'll just use R to copy the line. You can see the same line was copied down. So I will put a star over here in the place of D, which is decision line. So if it is star means that will become inactive in the schema. Okay, ideally the best practice is not to delete any of the existing lines. If you don't want that line, we'll just deactivate. Okay, so then we have a new line. This schema I will change to 9. So this is the process generally we'll follow whenever you want to modify any of the standard one. First you have to copy the root schema, then whatever the sub schemas you are copying, you have to copy them. Okay, so once you have saved this, it's taking a long time. Yeah. Okay, so you double click on our copied schema, sub schema. So you can see this is the factoring PCR. Okay, so here we have something called XPPF and all this stuff. Okay, what I think Roy has asked the question, right? If there is a split in between the month, how it will reduce, all these things will happen over here itself. Okay, so this I will explain when we are working on the factory. So now if I want to take a value, as I said, after the factoring, okay, so I have to insert the PCR after this. So I will use I to insert a new line after xval, which is the factoring PCR. So whenever we want to call a PCR, we have different functions. This is the function column. Okay. So we have different functions here. PAT I will use. So at this point of time in the payroll log, the basic wage tag is stored in IT table. So IT is the internal table, okay, which will store the wage tags from different info tags. So PIT stands for process IT table. This is a function. Similarly, we have RT table, okay, so which is results table. We have DT table, which is difference table. Likewise, we have different tables. Okay, so for calling different tables, we have different functions like PRT, PORT or PDT. Likewise, we have different functions. So here we are using PIT because I want to call something from the PIT function, and then I will give the PCR name over here. Okay. So parameter 2 and 3 are important. 4 is not in use. Parameter 3, if the PCR is okay, general for all wage tags. Okay, as I said, it may the PCR may not be basing on a single wage tag. It can be basing on for generic for all wage tags. At the time, you have to give a gen over here. Okay, now the PCR is specific for a wage tag. I will keep this as black. Okay, so parameter 3 is based on PCR group. As I said, this is the PCR group. Now this is general for all the PCR groups. Okay, so at the time you have to give NOAB or here. Okay, so this also I will explain. We have complete documentation. If you press F1 over here. Okay, especially I think you have to. Okay, you can go through the documentation. The same thing it is explained. There are many other things like processing class and all this stuff, which we are going to discuss. You can see the documentation like this. Okay, so this is the way. If these parameters are not correctly maintained, the PCR will not execute in the scheme. Okay, so this is the comment line, parameter 4 not in use, and this is the free text. Okay, so quickly we'll see how it will execute. in the schema. Okay, so I will go to the payroll driver. Okay, so payroll area, I'm running for only one employee. So I will give my copied schema over here for execution. I'll do a test run and I'll just display log. Okay, so now let us see the log. Okay, so if you see, the log will display like this. Okay, so as I said, we have WBP function, which is important one, which will read these info types. So if there are any splits in these info types, obviously the output will be splitted in the with a split number. Now there is no split. Okay, so we are having only 1500. So as we discussed earlier, if it is 1000 and 1500 in between the months, so there will be again split 1 with the same waste type, split 2 again with a different type. These will be reduced accordingly for 15 days. What is the value it should generate for 1000, and rest of the 15 or 16 days, all these things will happen in the factory, right? So similarly, you can quickly see there is time data processing. Okay, in this particular sub schema, you will get all 14 and 15 info types data. Here you will get all the data from 2010 and time relevant things. Okay, in the factoring especially, you have some logic about the factor, which we'll discuss in depth later. So here, if you see the PCR now in the input, you can see basic is available with 1500. And if you see the process, the PCR will process only for basic. If you click on any other elements, so this will not process for these waste types. Okay, so if you click on, okay, you can see the PCR like this. Okay, adding back to the same waste type, the 1500. So then we are taking, percentage from the constant, which is 10, to the amount field, which I am subtracting to a waste type called 9120. So if you click on this, you can see the path. Say for example, if you have written any other things also, you can see over here. Okay, so now if you see the output. Okay, so the basic still remains the same without disturbing, but we have 9120 over here with 10% of the value with a minus because I have used SUBWT. Okay, so this is how the basic PCRs will work. Say for example now, okay, I want to do this only for a particular employee group, not for all, for example. Okay, so I can just select this lines over here. Okay, I will just cut this. So here I can put the conditions using a standard operation called OET WP. Okay, and I can put different checks. Say for example, now I want to see check employee subgroup. Okay, if you see the documentation of OET WP, we can use after OET WP, we can use all these things to bifurcate to check different things. Okay, you can see company code, personal area, personal sub area. Okay, all these things are available. Okay, pay scale types, levels. Okay, now I want, say for example, employee subgroup, I want to put a check PERSB. I can put PERSB over here. So it will query employee group. Now if I say create over here, it will give me 2-digit code. Why? Because employee subgroup is 2-digit. Okay, so I will give star and ZA. Right, so I will just paste this, selecting ZA, which is my employee group. You can see the logic. for this. Okay, for rest of the people, if I'm putting blank, basic will add back over here, but this deduction will not generate for rest of the group. Means if I define ZA, ZB over here, it will read for ZA, ZB. For rest of the groups, it will go to star and it will not generate. Else, you can write a different constant. You can give the same logic under star star. For rest of the employees, say it is 12%. You can create another Z00, some other constant with 12%. Okay, I think we have created as 4, right? Okay, let me check the constant table once. Anyhow, 1 is also 10. That is why we are getting the right value. So ideally, we have created Z004, right? So likewise, you can create some other constant with 12%. And you can add those lines similarly like this. So likewise, you can check anything, okay, company code and all this stuff using this operation. Pay scale type, we may have different requirements for a pay scale level, different levels of employees will have different percentages. So all these things can be achieved with this operation. So quickly we'll run the payroll again after modifying the this server is very slow actually. Okay, so now if you see things from the factoring, right? So now you can see this because the employee group is ZA, it is reading this. Okay, if you double click on this, you can see the active one, the yellow path is going like this, not to star star. Likewise, the PCR. Okay, we will have different topics to do work on different types of PCR. Any questions? You can see the same output value for us.
No, not at this stage.
Right, yes. So this is the one. Okay. Similarly, we as I said, we'll start with time and then to payroll. Okay. So within the time and payroll, we have some operations like import, B2, and all these things where we have ZL, which will integrate. So all these functionalities I will explain step by step, starting from time to payroll. Okay. So apart from that, as I said, I will explain something about easy, that is I can't show you the real-time things in this demo, but I will just give you an overview of how the point-to-point integration will happen, and I will show you the point-to-point integration document, which is a bit older one, but the same documentation you will get in the marketplace or SAP help. And moreover, I will explain the configuration of payroll control center, okay, which will be used in Employee Central to execute all the payroll steps. Okay, so creating the payroll is nothing but running the payroll. There is something called checks, means validations, which will the combination of validations will be policies, and we have something called monitoring, which is the alert management, means whatever the errors we got, those errors we can send it to different users so that they will correct the data and the alerts will get cleared automatically over here. So all this process I will explain as a last topic in our training program. Right, guys, I think that's all from my side as a demo. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Vijay, just again a small question. There is like an off-cycle configuration, not configuration, that how we can handle this such scenario in a PCR schema. You are going to deal with that also, or it will be how?
That is okay. That I can explain as the part. Okay, there is no actual big
Like a
configuration
like a no,
to off.
like I see leave salary encashment, all this.
We have different things. Okay, so we have off cycles or we have special runs. What exactly it will happen? Okay, you can see here we will get the basic data. Okay, if it is the off cycle run. Okay, so there is a operation called refresh IT, means all the regular payments will go off.
So you will take one example and do the necessary, PCR level schema configuration.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
We'll do that.
And the loan, and there is like in payroll loans are there, loan repayment.
Standard configuration loans, we are not going to work in this program.
It doesn't require any PCR configuration. It will take automatically.
Yes.
Okay.
So all the topics where we will generally, modify the PCRs and the main important logics in the schema, that only we are going to take. But we are going to work on what all the topics I explained in the payroll, especially if you are talking about retro, we have a sub schema. When you are talking about time data, we have a sub schema. Apart from that, for few scenarios, we will work on, importing the previous payroll result, how it will work. Okay, what is the requirements? Okay, so what is import last payroll result? Okay, there are different sub schemas. Again, we are going to work. Okay, because we have many real-time topics. For those topics, I will explain. Okay, when I talk about deductions, okay, we have some standard scenarios, okay, to handle apart from the retro. Okay, so I will explain few topics like that. Say, for example, I have a requirement like the total of deduction should not be a particular, you can say it can be a loan type or it can be a deduction, should not exceed 25% of the gross. Okay, there is something called limits function and we have to modify some PCRs on that. So those things I will explain. Those are all at the time of retro, I will explain. Right, guys, any other things? Okay, so thank you. You can, connect with Chaitanya for any other queries. Chaitanya will update you with the, training start date and timings and rest of the things. Thank you, guys. Catch up soon.
Thank you, Vijay.
Yeah, thank you.
so much.
Thank you, guys.